All hail!
What up, peoples? It's the Test 2 Hypothetical Boogaloo. I'm your host, commentator, narrator, MC, all-around nice guy, and currently very, very hot man, and I don't mean that in a complimentary way, because it is the middle of summer, and I am RomeN eMpyre. Welcome back. I spoke to some people who had watched some of the previous episodes of this particular series, not really intended to be a series, but this collection of games. They watched The Test, and they said they were captivated, and they really enjoyed it. So, I figured why not bust out the sequel. We're going to do The Test Hypothesis Rising, and I'm going to answer some more potentially uncomfortable questions. We're going to see what happens. So thanks for joining me as we get ready. Oh, and I'm just sorry about those booping noises. I realize I'm not even on the right window here. And there we go. Before experiencing The Test Hypothesis Rising, it is highly recommended that you've played its prequel, The Test, which we did. Thanks for informing me, but we did. Yep, alright. Oh, it carries up right from the last one. Okay. Yeah, no, we did that. I get it. I appreciate the warning. No, I've already played The Test. Thank you. Oh, okay, the room is a lot bloodier than last time. Hello, and welcome to my office. It's truly a pleasure to see you here today. Please excuse the mess. I haven't had a chance to clean up yet. Now, I don't want to take up too much of your time with blibber blabber and nonsensical speak, so I'll just get straight to the point. Sometimes we have to ask ourselves life's tough questions. There's one question in particular I'd like for you to ask yourself. Are you happy? Well, that's a loaded question. And when I say happy, I don't mean content. Being content is great, but it's not the same as being happy. Literally, if you watch the Test episode, I basically had this conversation with someone. I kid you not. Anyway, moving on. I want to help you. I want to inspire you to be the best that you can be. I want to inspire you to be the happiest version of yourself. This might as well have been this person. I want to see you grow, inside and out. How? No, wait, now. How do we accomplish this, you might be asking? Good question. Allow me to explain. Not the best font for N's and H's there. I am going to ask you a series of questions, and you are going to answer them with 100% entire honesty. And when I say 100% entire honesty, I mean 100% entire honesty. Think about it. You do want to be happy, don't you? You wouldn't want to do something so bold as to tempt fate by lying, would you? Just remember, if you lie, the only person you're lying to is yourself, and everybody watching this video, to be precise. The only person who will suffer from this is you. And believe me, you will suffer. Not to mention the fact that whether you tell the truth or not, I'll know. But that's another story. Let's be moving on, shall we? We've wasted enough time explaining what we're going to be doing. Just remember, we all want to be good people. We all want to give the answers that we feel lend the most desirable human traits within ourselves. But sometimes, good people do bad things, and sometimes we don't always have desirable human traits. Sorry, read that wrong. Desirable traits as humans. I cannot express enough just how important it is to be truly honest while answering these questions, no matter how uncomfortable the truth may make you. Now, it's time to get into the real meat of this experience. It's time for you to get the advice that you deserve. As you read questions and scenarios during this process, I want you to create your own circumstances and build your own bridges to arrive at the answer that best suits your own psyche. If you've never experienced a scenario being asked of you, then simply imagine that you have and try to assume how you might feel in that situation. I'd like to invite you to pour a glass of water, sit back, and relax, as we unfold your fate and the secret to overcoming the next hurdle in your life. I learned from the first time, and I do have something to drink this time. We're going to start with some basic, easy questions. And here we go. Oh, the Joker thing again. And here we go. If you answer these questions twice, your advice may change. It's not just about answering the questions, it's about many different variables. Many different factors are at play here, including the amount of time taken to answer proposed questions. With that being said, it's far more important to actually take your time and think about how honest of an answer you're being given before you give it. You're giving before you give it. Sorry, it's late, man. It's well past midnight at this point, and I'm hot as balls. Whatever you do, do not rush the process. Time is your best friend here. You'll see what I mean soon enough. Do you feel uncomfortable right now? No, I've done this quite a few times at this point, so I'm good. Are you nervous? No, not really. I've answered the worst of the questions with the confession, so I think... and those are public now, so I think I'm good. Do you feel cold? No, I'm very hot. Do you feel sad? At the moment? Huh. That's a loaded question. Because you could mean right now, which I don't. I'm actually in a good mood making this. But generally speaking, do I feel sad? I don't know. State of the world and all that. There's a lot going on. I wouldn't say I'm happy. But if we're taking it at the moment, right now, like do you feel cold? I would say no. I don't feel sad at the moment. Have you ever hurt someone because you were hurting, even though they didn't deserve it? Yes, I have done that before, unfortunately. I think it's a very human thing to do. Do you crave acceptance by others? Crave it? I want to be accepted by others, but do I crave it? That's a different thing. I like to be accepted. I don't know if I crave it. But I am an actor, so I feel like deep down there is some desire to be accepted that I need to fulfill, or else I wouldn't have chosen that job. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes based on analyzing the job I've chosen and the fact that I'm doing this right now. So I'm literally needing acceptance for this to be a thing. So yeah, I guess I am. Have you ever lost a loved one? Yes, I have. Quite a few, unfortunately. Do you know what heartbreak feels like? Yes. Yes, I do. Unfortunately, that I do. Do you believe in demons? In the supernatural, physical sense? No, I don't believe in demons. Do you believe in curses? In a literal magic, somebody putting a curse on you sense? No. In the idea that somebody can convince themselves that there is a curse in their life, and therefore everything that goes wrong becomes attributed to that, and then it just makes their pain and their suffering worse? Yes. So I believe in self-imposed curses. I believe in self-fulfilling prophecies of that sort, if you will. So for the sake of this, I'm going to say yes in that sense. In that sense only, though. Would you consider yourself to be spiritual? Excuse me. I can take some of that drink now. My first instinct is no. Oh yeah, dry throat. My first instinct is no. Sorry if you got a little unintentional ASMR there from me smacking my lips and tongue after that drink. I realized how close to the mic I was. My first instinct is to say no. I think about metaphysical things and all that, but I wouldn't say I'm spiritual. I'd say I'm a pretty practical person. Are you afraid of dying alone? Yes, that was in the first test, and yes, I am. If there was undeniable proof that a ghost was haunting you, would you continue to live in your home? Well, it depends. If the ghost is haunting me because of where I live, then I wouldn't, because then that solves that problem. But if it's haunting me personally, and it has nothing to do with the location, if it's haunting me because of who I am, then that wouldn't solve anything. So I would need more evidence. So, I mean, and it also depends on the ghost. If it's haunting me, but it's not causing me any, like, actual problems, like if it's just, like, watching me or, I don't know, occasionally I see it, but it's not causing me, like, harm, then I don't see any reason to, like, deny it. Maybe it's just lonely. So, I guess I would. I would need more evidence to move out, I'll say that much. Have you ever seen an object mysteriously move without being touched? No, that I haven't. Do you believe that it's possible for a game to summon supernatural forces into your life without you knowing it? A game? No. That's the plot of very bad B-movies, but no. Would you like to make more friends? Yeah, who wouldn't? Would you consider yourself to be a good friend? Yes. Yes, I would consider myself to be a good friend. Do you feel lonely? Yeah, especially now, these days. Quarantine days. Yeah, I'm basically by myself, so definitely. Okay, alright, that freaked me out a little bit. I knew that was something like that was gonna happen at some point, but I wasn't expecting it then. Do you make friends easily? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say for the most part, I tend to be pretty good at making friends. Do you tend to avoid drama where possible? Yes. Yeah, I'm not interested in it. Have you ever had a near-death experience? Ironic, because I'm an actor. Have you ever had a near-death experience? No, I don't think I have. No. I don't think I have had a near-death experience. Do you like horror movies? No, I hate them. Absolutely hate them. Unless I'm watching it with somebody and it's really bad and we can comment on how bad it is and make fun of it. Then I enjoy it just fine. This is all very interesting. Have you played The Test? Yes, I have. That's the spirit. Have you played The Horoscope? No. No, that one I haven't. Give it a whack. I'm totally not biased or anything. Shameless self-promotion. I'm okay with that. Do you watch porn? Dude, I'm 32, male, and right now I'm quarantined. Of goddamn course I do. What else would I do with my time? Would you consider yourself to be a hard worker? If it's something I'm genuinely interested in, then I give it everything I've got. If it's I'm doing a part in a show or in a movie or whatever, absolutely. I give it everything I've got. I do whatever they tell me and I work my hardest. If it's something I'm not interested in, when I was in college and I had some assignment that I hated, I was absolutely not a hard worker. So by nature, I don't think I'm a hard worker. I have to be genuinely passionate about what it is I want to do, and then it doesn't feel like work, to be honest. So I'm gonna say no. Do you have a low opinion of yourself? Huh. If this was a few years back, I'd say probably yes. Because I had a lot of self-confidence and self-conscious issues when it came to how I viewed my standing and my skills and talents and all that. I was very down on myself. At this age, it was probably even longer ago. It was probably like a decade ago, like college age and earlier, high school especially. But now I would say I have a pretty accurate opinion of myself. I'm probably down on myself in some respects, but I also have a good understanding and confidence in the things that I'm good at. So I'm gonna say no at the moment. Would you consider yourself to be a confident person? Yeah, now I am. I'd say I am now. Would you help an old lady cross the street even if you were running late for an appointment? That's a tough one. Because my initial response is to go, yeah, I'd help you across the street, but I'm an actor, and being late for auditions is awful, even if you know sometimes they're gonna back you up and you'll be waiting for like an hour past your actual appointment time. Sometimes they are running early, and you show up late, and they glare daggers at you because they can't trust you to come in on time, and it ruins the whole thing. So, and I'm a punctual person by nature. I like to be early or on time. Those are the two things I like to be, and when I'm late, I hate it. It like hurts. I hate it because it feels like I've disappointed whoever I'm supposed to meet with, even if they don't notice. So I'm going to have to say, knowing my OCD-ness about punctuality, no, I probably wouldn't. Would you kill all of your neighbors' pets just to save one of your own? God, no. No, that's horrendous. That's cruel. That's absolutely cruel. No, I couldn't do it. It would be heartbreaking to lose a pet, but I would never do that. Have you ever tried to smother yourself with a pillow to see if you could actually suffocate yourself? No. No, I haven't. No. Have you ever been caught dancing when you thought no one was watching? I think once. Normally, I don't get caught doing that sort of thing, and I definitely do it. But I think only once have I turned around and, like, somebody caught me and I, like, jumped. But I think, yeah, I have been caught once. Have you ever tried to roll your eyes back so far just to see if they really get stuck? Not to see if they get stuck. I just wanted to see how far back I could roll them to do that Undertaker thing. I just wanted to see if I could do the whites of the eyes Undertaker thing. I didn't do it because I wanted to see if they get stuck. Have you ever played a practical joke that you regret pulling on someone? No, I don't like practical jokes, to be honest. I'm not a fan. I actually get really annoyed when people do it. Are you streaming live right now? Am I streaming? No, I'm not streaming. I'm recording this, but I'm not streaming. Are you recording this gameplay session? Yes. Yes, I am. Look at that. They've adapted their questions. Yeah, I am. If I told you that I was watching you play this game right now, would you believe me? Through my screen? I mean, it's entirely possible somebody could, like, hack my software here, but I don't think that's the point of this social experiment, so I'm going to say no. If you've left a comment for me at any point in time, I've read your words. Does this bother you? No, because I actually haven't left the comments, sorry. I've been too busy with recording this stuff, I didn't think about the comments, so no. If you've left a comment for me, does it make you feel positive that I've paid attention to what you've taken the time to write? I didn't leave a comment, so I can't really answer that question, but if you had read it, and you'd taken the time to do so, I would feel positive, so I'll say yes. Do you understand that no matter what, I appreciate you? Yeah, if you're somebody who created this game and you're running this whole social experiment idea through this game, then yeah, I think you would appreciate everybody who's contributed to it. I really do. Are you afraid of snakes? No, same thing with spiders. Like, the rational fear of, like, if one was near me and it might be poisonous, I would be worried and concerned and afraid. But I don't have, like, a phobia of snakes. Do you believe in magic? You asked this the first time, too. And in the sense of, like, actual supernatural magic, no. No, I don't. Pained as it is as a fantasy fan to have to say that. Have you cried in the last month? We've explained from the last game. Yes, I definitely have. Do you have a hero? I like comic books, but ironically enough, I don't have a hero. I don't have somebody I, like, look up to and idolize. So no, I don't have a hero. Do you typically learn from your mistakes? Generally speaking, yes, but not always. Typically. Okay, so typically. Do I more often learn from them or not? I would say... More often than not? No. I tend to make a lot of the same mistakes. If I have to really be honest with myself, I don't tend to. I do learn from some, but the vast majority I'll end up repeating those mistakes just out of instinct or habit. Do you enjoy outdoor activities? Not really. Not really. Would you consider yourself to be lazy? By nature, yeah. I have the tendency to want to procrastinate and to not put in a lot of effort. With certain things, I put in a ton of effort. Like I said, with the acting, if I'm really into a part, I put in a ton of effort. But my natural state, when I have nothing to do, isn't like, oh my god, I have to have something to do. I gotta go find something to do. I gotta go jog. I gotta go read a book I haven't read before. My instinct is not that. I'm just like, I'll chill and watch a show I haven't watched before. So I would say yes, probably, if I'm being brutally honest with myself. A little sippy sip sip there. Do you sometimes find it difficult to stay motivated? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely do. It can be definitely be tough. Do you put the needs of others before yourself? Unfortunately, yeah, I do. If somebody calls me and needs me, I tend to drop everything, even if it's not the smartest thing for me to do, or if I have other things I need to be worried about. So yeah, probably. Probably. Would your family and friends describe you as kind? My family and friends, yeah, definitely would. My family and friends definitely would. Have you ever cheated in a relationship? I've come close. I've thought about it, especially in the really, really bad ones. But in actuality, I have never cheated while in a relationship, no. Have you ever been cheated on in a relationship? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. I can think of no ex relationship that I've ever heard of as having cheated on me, so no. To my knowledge, no. I just WASD'd by accident while I was trying to go down. Getting used to computer games, and it's messing with my sense of keyboard knowledge here. Would you consider yourself to be judgmental? No. No, not by nature. I tend to hear people out and try to... I'm devil's advocate kind of guy more than anything. I see. Are you a hero to someone else? I would have said no to this prior to that conversation I mentioned having, that I mentioned at the end of the first test that I was like stunned that the end results were so similar to what they said to me. But one of the things basically said that they've looked up to me their whole life, and that was part of why they wanted me not to be... Anyway, point being, without getting too heavy on this one, I would say now, in a sense, yeah, I would say that I probably am. As weird as that is, and that felt really arrogant to say that. I'm trying to answer as honestly as possible these questions, and I feel like to that person I might be. Do you love animals? Yes, I do. Have you ever found a family member on Tinder and wanted to hit them with a super like just to make that shit real awkward? No, I haven't found a family member on Twitter. Yeah, me neither. Alright, Fate, calm down. Do you enjoy drinking alcohol? Not anymore. I get sick more than I used to enjoy it a lot in college, and then whatever I did to my liver is just permanent. So, no, I don't enjoy drinking alcohol anymore. Are you intoxicated right now? No, I'm not. I'm stone cold sober. Well, that makes one of us. Yep. Do you like the phrase sneaky snake? Yeah, that's kind of a fun phrase. It's silly. I don't really use it, but I like it. It's silly. Are these questions a bit strange to you? No, I've played 2 of your games so far. These are totally fine. Do you have a vivid imagination? Yes, I very much do. I very much do. Do you feel uncomfortable in large social settings? It depends. If there are a lot of strangers, if the bulk of it is strangers, I feel awkward as hell. If they're all people I know, I'm very, very comfortable, and I can like float around and have a good time. But when I think large social settings and situations, I tend to think vastly strangers. So I'm gonna say generally no. Would you consider yourself to be antisocial? No, I don't consider myself antisocial. I'm not against socializing. Do you hold a grudge for long periods of time? Generally speaking, I want to say no, but there are people I can think of in my mind where they've really hurt me or wronged me, and I don't think I've fully gotten over it. So if it's a legit grudge, when I hold it, I do tend to hold it for a long time. I eventually let go of all of them, I think. But I definitely think, yeah, probably do. Have you ever urinated in public? I've been drunk in college, so yes. Do you like pineapple on your pizza? Yes, I actually do. You know what? I know there's going to be a whole hate section going on for me saying that right now. People will say, blasphemy, you're from New York, how can you put I like pineapples. I like pizza. You put the two together, it's a good-ass pizza. Sorry, people. Live with it. Deal with it. Put on the digitized shade. I knew I liked you. See? Somebody agrees with me, and it's fate. So, shove it. Would you consider yourself to be selfish? Generally speaking, no. I've gotten more selfish as the years have gone on because I've gotten burnt by being too selfless. And I know that sounds like a goddamn humble brag, but like I've gone out of my way to like do what other people want, probably for approval, probably for the whole craving acceptance thing from the earlier questions. But I just, after a while, just it not being returned or whatever the case was, or feeling like I was giving a lot and then not getting anything in return, I've become more selfish for the sake of self-preservation. But I would still say, generally speaking, no. My first instinct is definitely to be selfless if I can. Do you think you've got a big ego? Generally speaking, no. I tend to joke around with my, like, when I have big ego moments, quote unquote, I'm doing it for the sake of making other people laugh usually, and just to be like loose and have a sense of humor around people. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to jokingly sort of self-aggrandize when you're in a situation where you know you look like a fool. It's play the clown kind of thing. But in actuality, I don't think super highly of myself. I don't think lowly of myself like we had with the last question, but I don't think of myself far and above other human beings for the most part. So no, I wouldn't say I have a big ego. Would you consider yourself kinky? Yeah, that was in the first one. Yeah, I would say so. Part of the vivid imagination thing. Have you ever masturbated into a fishbowl? Into a fishbowl? No! A fishbowl? Really? Trying to feed them fish? Well, then you can't be that kinky. Really? Fate, you're gonna kink shame me for not being kinky enough? Man, this is 2020, baby. You gotta update your life. Would you consider yourself to be religious? No, definitely not. Would you consider yourself to be temperamental? Temperamental. I will say if my mood shifts because of something, I stick in that mood for a while. But I don't change moods wildly. So I'm gonna say no, because temperamental is to me is more of a wild switching of moods and very easily. If you had to kill someone to save your own life, but you knew they didn't deserve it, would you do it? Oh boy. I'm afraid to die. It's my biggest fear. So it would haunt me for the rest of my life, and it would probably make me crushingly guilty and sad. But in that moment, I think I would do it to save my own life. It would be the worst thing I've ever done, and I would hate myself for it. But I'm deathly afraid of death. So yeah, I probably would. Interesting. Would you sacrifice your own life for a complete stranger? Intentionally? Intentionally, no. Like I might try to protect them from getting hit by a car or something, and it might get me killed in the process. I might shield someone to protect them from like if some crazy gunman was running out in the street and he was shooting up around, and the only thing I could think to do to protect them was to like, grab them and huddle up and hope that we didn't get shot or whatever. Like I might do that, but it wouldn't. Would you sacrifice your own life? To me implies, would you knowingly jump in front of the bullet and take it for them? So I'd have to say knowingly, no. Unintentionally, I probably might. I would try to protect someone, but my intention would never be to lose my life in the process. Even more interesting. Have you ever been inside of a burning building? A burning building? Oh, there was a fire in a building once. There was a fire in the apartment. I guess that counts. But it was, that's a tough question. But the entire apartment was on fire. So I guess technically it was a burning building. It just wasn't the entire burning that was building. Burning that was building? It wasn't the entire building that was burning. I just realized what I said there. I'm going to say yes. I was in a fire. We got out in time, but yes, I was in a fire. Have you ever been to a funeral? More than I would like to be. Yes, I have been to a few. If you could attend your own funeral before you died, would you take the opportunity to do so? Yeah, I would be curious. It'd be morbid, I'm afraid of death, all that stuff, but I would still want to know what people thought of me and what they said and all that. I'd be curious, yeah. If you could see into the future, but you were told that it would only reveal the absolute worst of what's in store for you, would you still look? In the hopes that perhaps I could prevent it? Yes. Even if I was told it was unpreventable, I would hope that somehow I could try to avoid it, even if that just became a trap and I made it happen anyway. Yeah, I want to know. Like I said in the last one, I'd rather know things than not know them, even if they're bad. If you had the power to stop time, would you use it to do something you know you shouldn't do? Huh. Normally I'd say no. But considering I'm broke as hell, and banks tend to be insured, and I would just want to end the money problem so I could focus on all the other problems that I need to take care of. And I'm sure there's plenty of other things that, even though I want to say I wouldn't do them, if you had the power to stop time, absolute power, corrupts, absolutely, and all that, I feel like you would give in to that temptation at least once or twice. So yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah, I probably would. If I had to be completely honest with myself. If you had the power to remove one person from Earth, never to return again, would you use it? I'm gonna be honest. It's not a personal thing. I can think of one person. I won't say who it is. Some of you could probably think of it because you're probably thinking of it right now too. This image has popped up in your mind. You're angry at this particular person. You see them in their ill-fitting suits and with a very specific voice in mind. You probably know what I'm talking about already. I don't want to get more specific than that because I don't want to. Yes, the answer is yes. There's somebody I would. If I told you that I understand you better than you understand yourself, would you believe me? Possibly. I don't think we understand ourselves fully because we are subjective about ourselves and we want to see the best and worst of ourselves sometimes and not the in-between. So I would say I believe you, yeah. If someone threatened to kill you, would your first response be to react in violence? Threatened to kill me? Just said it? No, my first idea isn't to punch them. I'd probably ask questions. Why? Why do you want to kill me? What have I done? All that stuff. No. Violence is not my first response. If a stranger stole money from you to support their drug addiction, would you forgive them if they apologized to you? Depends how much money. If they stole my life savings, I'd be furious and I don't think I'd ever get over it. But if they just stole, I'd be angry for a while. But if I knew them, if they were close to me, I would eventually forgive them, but I would still be wary of them. I would still lose trust in them. But I wouldn't hold it over their heads and cause them pain over it. So yes, eventually I would. If a family member said something nasty about you behind your back, would you confront them about it directly? Yeah, if I found out, I would confront them about it directly. If you had to eat raw squirrel brains for 3 days to stay alive, would you do it? Oh boy. To stay alive, if I had no other choice, if I had to eat it just to live, it would be gross. I would put it off all day as long as I could. But eventually I wouldn't want to die and I'd probably do it. Yeah, I would. Ooh, that's gross. If you woke up tomorrow and none of your family remembered who you were, would you choose to leave and start a new life? If nobody remembered who I was? I'd have to. It'd be too painful to be around my family if they didn't realize who I was. Trying to make them remember me would be too painful. That would be awful. It would just, every day of them not remembering and trying to remind them would be stabbing myself in the heart. So I would just try to start a new life, try to find new people. I'd go off with friends who knew me, and yeah, I would start a new life. That would be the only way I could do it. If a homeless man was clearly sick, freezing, and utterly miserable in the rain, would you be willing to give him your clothes and walk home naked? Yeah, I might get sick, but if he would look like he was on the verge of death because of what was going on, I'd risk getting sick for the sake of that person's life. I mean, I wouldn't be able to live with it if I found out the next day that something horrible had happened to that person because I didn't do anything. So if it was the only choice, yeah, I'd do it. If someone accidentally hit you in their car, but you suffered no injuries whatsoever, would you still be upset with them? It depends on the person. If they were unapologetic about it and they were just rude and they're like, watch where you're going, it's New York, keep in mind, and all that stuff, I'd be angry. I'd be upset with them because it's their fault. But if they were somebody who was really remorseful about it, which generally I think most people would be in that situation, and they were really worried, but I came out of it fine, I think I'd find it hard to be upset with them because I could see the concern and the worry. So I probably wouldn't still be upset with them, though. Have you looked for any hidden meanings or messages within these questions? No, even though I knew you did it last time, I haven't been looking. Maybe you should have been. Yeah, I know, I probably should have been. Are you wondering if there's a deeper meaning to all of this other than just simply answering question after question? Yes! Yeah, I definitely see a social experiment thing going on. Miracles happen every day. Do you agree? In the religious sense, no. In the idea that something that could have a probability of 1 in a billion of happening, and yet can save a life or turn someone's life around or make a person feel like a miracle has happened because of how inconceivable it is, yes, I think that is true. Umbrellas aren't worth lugging around, and you don't mind getting rained on. Do you agree? No, if I know it's gonna rain, if I knew ahead of time, and I found out, or if I get caught in the rain, I'll go and buy an umbrella rather than walk around in the rain. So, no, I don't agree. Red is a prettier color than pink. Do you agree? I like shades of red more than I like shades of pink, so yes. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag blowing in a plastic bag blowing in the wind? That's hard to say. That's a very what's the name of that? Was it The American Dream? What's the name of that movie? Oh man, American Sweetheart maybe? I forget what the name of that freaking American Beauty? I think it's American Beauty. I think that's a question from that. No, I don't ever feel that way. Eating in front of people can be awkward. Do you agree? Not really. I don't tend to think about it. It can be, but I don't really think about it. Everybody does it, so I feel like get over it. As long as you don't eat real sloppy and nasty. Rings used as a ceremonial wedding gift are so outdated. Do you agree? Yeah, especially engagement rings, because they're so expensive and people get conned into spending so much money to like prove how much they care about someone. And it's basically a modern dowry. It's just a way of, yeah, it's outdated. I don't think it's necessary. Did you realize that the first letter of the last 6 questions, when combined, spells out the word murder? No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I did not. I did not notice that. Do you know why that is? No, I definitely don't know why that is. Does that make you slightly uncomfortable? Slightly? Yes. It makes me slightly uncomfortable, given this is a social experiment and I don't know what you're trying to find out about me. So, slightly, yes. Are you going to start paying closer attention to what you may have gotten yourself into? No. I'm on a channel. I'm already at the almost the 40-minute mark, so I can't afford to, sorry. Do you realize it's too late to turn back now? Yes, I'm aware. Okay. That's starting to freak me out. It didn't really in the last one, because I knew it was coming. In the confession, it did a little bit. Now, I'm leaned in real close to the screen here, so you're freaking me out. Do you hear someone in your room? Hear someone? No. I don't hear someone in my room. Do you see the shadows closing in? I've had that experience before. I'm not having it now. Do you feel like you're being watched? Now that you say it. Now that you put it that way, and because you mentioned the looking through the screen and seeing me thing, I've got this weird paranoid feeling that there's somebody over my shoulder, even though I know there's no one there. So even though I rationally know that I'm not being watched, do I feel like it? A little bit, yeah. If I'm being completely honest. Did you look around your room a moment ago? No. I have kept my eyes fixated on the screen, even though I just thought that, and even though I'm pointing over my shoulder, even though no one can see. No, I haven't looked back. Because that acknowledges that there's no one actually there and that I'm just being a paranoid fool. Do you like long walks on the beach? No. No, to be honest. You just get sand in your toes and stuff. I don't really get it. No. Do you enjoy giving gifts to people? Yeah, I did it a lot, especially in school. In high school, when we did Secret Santa, I would give my Secret Santa like a special gift, but then I'll give everybody else gifts. I love giving gifts. Yeah. When I can afford it. It was a lot easier back then when your parents were basically paying for everything when you were in high school. Or most people's parents were anyway. Have you ever felt like giving up on life? Oof, that's a loaded question. Ever? I mean, I'm going to admit it here. I'm going to be real personal here. When I was much, much younger. And at points, yeah, at points I definitely thought about it. Despite my fear of death. But my fear of death kept me from doing it along with other things. But yeah, I've thought about it. Do you love your family more than you love yourself? More than I love myself? No, I'd say I love myself and them on equal terms now. I think when I was younger, I probably loved them more than I loved myself because I had, like I said, confidence issues. But I think now it's probably equal. I would say no, not more than I love myself. It's equal now. Do you have a best friend who's clearly better than the rest of your friends? Yes. Yeah. I mean, to everybody who is my friend and knows who I am, this is not a value judgment on you as friends. It might be for some of you, but I'm sure if you're feeling guilty, you know who you are. You know who you are. If you're feeling a little guilty, then that's your... Examine yourself like I'm doing right now with this game. But there is one person, to all of my good friends who know me, who know exactly who I'm thinking about, because this person is the person who drops everything to help me with everything and is always thinking about how to help me. So just, it has nothing to do with them being a better person. They are just, I've spoken of this person as a brother to me. And I mean that. That's not like an exaggeration or a hyperbolic statement. I genuinely think of this person as family. So yes. That's just how the cookie crumbles on that one. Hey, if you want to beat him out, boom. Try a little harder, get into the friend race. Maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a competition. I'm just messing around. I love all of you. I love all of my friends. Do you think there's some kind of conspiracy behind the... No. If you think there's a conspiracy behind it and then it's not real, just stop. And never say that in front of a person who's lost somebody because of this. Of which, unfortunately, I'm one of these people. So, just think before you speak about these things to other people and profess the conspiracies behind it, because it's insulting to people that are in pain right now. Okay? So don't. Do you believe that you're human? Yeah, I would say I'm human. Although people joke that I might be some other species because I got all these health problems and it seems like I do better in complete darkness than I do in daylight. Let's say a vampire, alien, I got it all. But I believe I am human, yes. If you could turn invisible, but you could never be visible ever again once you decided to use your power for the first time, would you ever use it? No. No, I wouldn't. Nope. That would be awful. Living ghost? Nope, not into it. If you knew someone was about to rob a convenience store, but you knew that they were doing it to feed their family, would you stop them? That's a tough one. You know what? I'd let the police deal with it. I know that's a weird thing to say right now. There's a whole bunch of ways that could go wrong. But my dad was a cop. And I know it's going to sound like me just lip service here. He was one of the good ones. Kind of guy who arrested people. And then after he had arrested them, he would get in touch with them, see how they were doing, make sure they didn't slip back into old ways, ask them around, how people were in their neighborhood were doing. So I know that there's good cops out there, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. And I know that generally speaking, most of them are just trying to do their jobs and just trying to help people. And unfortunately, a lot of bad apples have spoiled the bunch. Right now. But I don't think it's my judgment call to make to try and stop them. Then again, I wouldn't try to stop them by force, but I might try to convince them. I might try to hey, this could ruin your life, this could ruin your family, this could make things a whole lot worse. What can I do to help? Right now, at least temporarily, until you figure out a better way to do this. So yeah, I probably would stop them, but I wouldn't. It'd be a tough call, but I would. If you were stranded on a remote island with a stranger, and you were both starving to death, but you found a secret stash of food that they didn't know about, would you share with them? Yeah. No, because if they found out, morally, of course I'm going to do it, but let's say you were that desperate and you ate it all. If they ever found out for some reason, or you let it slip or whatever, what's the chance that they murder you in a rage? Yeah, I'd share with them. It's just the best thing to do in that situation. If you could turn into an eagle for 1 year, but you wouldn't be able to turn back into a person until that 1 year had passed, would you do it? No, I have no desire to be an animal. No, I'm good with being human. If you had the opportunity to earn riches beyond your wildest dreams, he's getting slightly British again, by fighting a grizzly bear to the death, using nothing but a machete and an army helmet, would you do it? Oh boy. No, I'm only 125 pounds. A machete and an army helmet is not going to be enough. Unless I somehow manage to stab it through the heart, but bears are so strong. One swipe and there goes my entire face. So no, I wouldn't do it. It's not worth it. If you had to pick one basic food item to eat exclusively for an entire year, would you choose potatoes? One food item for an entire year. It's one of the few things that I know I can eat without getting, like, sick anytime I've eaten them. Like, sometimes meat can be cooked wrong. Sometimes pizza's too greasy and it messes with my stomach. But, like, potatoes, you can dress them up in all sorts of different ways. And I've almost never... I can't recall ever getting sick from them. So, yeah, I probably would. It's actually a safe bet for me. If pizza screamed in agony every time you bit it into a piece, would you still continue to eat pizza? Screamed in agony? No. No, I would feel awful. If your best friend got bit in the genitals by a highly venomous snake, and the only way to save their life was to suck the venom out of their genitals, would you do it to save them? That's not a real thing, though. You can't suck the venom out. That's not real, though. That doesn't work. They've said it doesn't work. Medical experts have said that doesn't work. You have to like get an anti-venom, and you have to, like, that doesn't stop the flow of venom into the, like, it doesn't work that way. You have to get them to a hospital immediately. If you don't know the snake, you can't treat them. There's a whole list of things you're not supposed to do if somebody is dying from. So no, because that would kill them. That would actually kill them. No. That's not how that works. Was that question difficult to answer? Your hypothetical made it seem like I'd be killing them, but the truth is, realistically, that wouldn't work. So no, it wasn't difficult to answer. That was just weirdly... It doesn't work that way. In reality. Do you feel mortal? Yes, I definitely do. Do you enjoy loud music? No, not loud. I like music, but too loud and it gets on my nerves. Do you feel awkward when you dance in front of others? No, not really. Depends on how loose I'm feeling, but no. Not generally speaking. Do you suffer from an anxiety disorder? Not diagnosed. Not that I know of. I've had issues that I've had EMTs before where they said you might have anxiety or a panic attack, but they couldn't say for sure. But I'll say no because I'm not diagnosed with it, and I don't want to belittle somebody who has it by claiming to. Do you ever feel depressed? Yeah, sure. That's human. I think most people do, at least once or twice. You're not alone. Thank you, I appreciate it. Do you feel relaxed? At the moment, yeah, I feel pretty relaxed. It's hot, but I feel relaxed. Do you think you have a guardian angel watching over you? Guardian angel? No, I'm not religious. I've already stated that. In the actual literal sense of a guardian angel, no, I don't think I have one. Do you ever hear your name being called when no one could have called it? Yes, that's happened before, where people are asleep or no one's home, and I think I hear somebody calling my name. I'm going to take special note of that one. Do you always look both ways before crossing the road? No, unfortunately I don't. I should, but I don't always. Do you wash your hands every day? Nowadays, especially. It used to be if I was home alone, not doing anything. Well, if I went to the bathroom afterwards, I would. Yeah, at least once. If I'm not going out, I wash them less, but if I go out, I wash them regularly and all that. But yeah, I do. Especially nowadays. I don't want to get anybody else sick because I wasn't washing my damn hands. So wash your damn hands, people. Put it up, future me, on the screen. Wash your damn hands. Thank you. That was a public service announcement from RomeN eMpyre. Do you feel uncomfortable using public restrooms? No, that's what they're there for. Is winter your favorite season? No, fall is my favorite season. Do you know anyone named Josh? Yeah, I do. Are you wondering why that last question is relevant? No, not really. I just assume all these questions are relevant in some weird way. Are you allergic to any animals? I'm supposedly allergic to cats and dogs, but I've never really had a problem with it that I know of. But supposedly, yes, I'm allergic to them. Have you ever thought about an animal in a sexual way? Oh! Whoa! No. Nope. No equus for me. No man's best friend. Sorry, buddy. No furries. Not that I'm against. If you're a furry, all good for you. And if you're anthropomorphic, humanoid, two-legged furry, that's a whole nother story. Because at least you're upright and sentient and all that stuff. An actual, not thinking, physical beast. Nope. Sorry. Not into it. If you're on 4 legs, I want it to be voluntary, and you'd be able to get on 2 of them when we're done. Wow. Why am I saying this? Have you ever been in love? Yes. Yes, I was. Would you consider yourself to be artistic? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's the only thing I enjoy doing is artsy stuff. Whether it's writing, acting, whatever. Drawing. Would you consider yourself to be dominant in day-to-day life? Yeah. Yeah. That's, especially nowadays, that's definitely become my personality trait, is dominant, for sure. Do you feel that you've got too much time on your hands? Probably, yeah, for sure. Can you be easily intimidated by it? Not easily, no. Not very easily. Are you easily excitable? No. Actually, it takes a lot to get me excited, usually. I get excited about weird stuff, as you've noticed if you played some of my videos, where I'm playing some games and I get really weirdly excited. But no, generally speaking, throughout the course of my life, there are things where people get really excited about them and I'm just like, whatever. Like, so, I think generally speaking, no, I'm not. Do you enjoy solving complex problems? Yes. Especially if I manage to solve them. Yeah. Do you have a difficult time relaxing? Difficult? No. No, I don't. Would you consider yourself to be high maintenance? No. No, I'm not high maintenance. I'm very low maintenance. Do you trust easily? I've become less trusting over... obviously, I've gotten older and I've had bad experiences. But even so, I tend to want to trust people, especially if we're friends. I definitely want to trust people, so I would say, yeah, I probably do. Would you consider yourself to be an honest person? Yeah. Generally speaking, I don't find myself... Have I ever told a lie? Yes. That's a different story, but generally speaking, I'm very honest. Have you ever lied to your best friend? To my best friend? No, I don't think I have. No, to him, I actually don't think I've ever lied. Have you ever lied to your family? For sure, they don't need to know everything. I just make them uncomfortable. I've told them not to watch these videos because they don't want to hear the honest answers to some of these questions. Have you lied about any answers during this session? No. No, I haven't. Are you I got lost in thought there for a minute because I was thinking about family and watching these videos, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to let them watch this one. One of the questions is, do you watch porn? And while they know that, rationally, they don't want to know that, you know what I mean? There's certain questions people don't want actually answered, they just know it, but they're never going to acknowledge it, you know what I mean? Are you wondering why all of these questions have to do with lying? No, I get the trend. This is all very useful information. Are you a people pleaser? I like to make people happy, but generally speaking, I don't do things just to please people. So no, if I don't want to do something, I just won't do it, even if it makes them unhappy. So no. Do you enjoy being the center of attention? I enjoy it. I don't seek it out, but I enjoy it. If it's for good reasons. Do you feel like you've got a good sense of humor? Definitely. Definitely. Do you frighten easily? Frighten easily? I get surprised easily. Like, I'll jump if I'm not expecting something. But I don't get frightened easily. I'll immediately, like, calm down and whatever. So, no, not frightened easily. Jump scares are a different thing. See, they tried to jump scare me there just to prove me wrong. But I actually am totally cool right now. Even though I'm wearing a headset, so the sounds that I'm hearing, that you're hearing, were a lot more in my ear than yours are probably right now. Well, that was odd. I wonder what that was about. I know what it was about. You're trying to test whether or not I was lying about the last question. It's probably a pretty good place for us to stop this simple segment of our questionnaire and move on to the more gritty questions. Oh, Lord. This is much longer than the first one. This next set of questions will not be yes or no answers. The next portion of our session will be filled with various scenarios that put you smack dab in the middle of vital choice making. So this is more like the confession. We'll see how well you handle your options as you delve deep into each scenario. Remember, the key to all of this is to answer honestly. Let's get started. You're home alone. It's dark, and it's storming outside. All of a sudden, there's a knock on your bedroom door. Someone is in your house. What do you do? Someone's in my house. Normally, I would assume it's my family, though. Oh, but I'm home alone, so I know that nobody from my family is home. But maybe they're coming home. It's difficult, because rationally I would assume that somebody I know who lives here got home and is knocking on my door. I'd ask who is it, probably. I'd ask who is it and wait. Very interesting choice. You meet a homeless woman on the street. She asks you for money. You find it within yourself to give her all the spare change you have. Just as you do, a homeless man approaches, asking if you can spare some change. What do you do? It's either I would tell him I have none left, or I'd tell the homeless woman to share with the man. Depending, like, if it was just coins, that would be, like, brutal to ask her to share. But if it was, like, coins and bills, I'd tell her to share. I'd feel bad, but I would ask if she could share with him. Really now? Both you and your mother and your father... Oh, sorry. Both your mother and your father fall incredibly ill. Nothing to do with you. To a life-threatening disease, and there's only enough medicine and facilities to save one of your parents, and time is of the essence. What do you do? Oh, boy. Wow, that's a tough one. My father is already passed, for those who don't know. But let's say they were both alive. I'd probably try to split the medication, even though there's a risk they both might die. I just wouldn't be able to live with myself if I let one of them die. And I wouldn't want to see the way they look at me. Even if they didn't blame me for it, I would feel guilty every time they looked at me, because I let the person they loved pass. So I would just take the risk and hope to save both of them, even if it's a gamble. It's the only thing I could think to do. That doesn't surprise me. You find a case of money tucked away inside of a dumpster. Inside, there's 10 solid gold bars and a vial of mysterious liquid. Under the vial, there's a note that says the cure for cancer. What do you do? Turn the case into a professional entity so they can utilize it. Keep the gold bars, but give away the cure to cancer. Keep the cure for cancer, but give away the gold bars. Keep everything in the case for yourself to sell or use. I'd turn the case... Well, I'd turn the cancer cure in. Because I would think somebody would be better suited to that, and I don't want to just sell it to somebody who's going to make even more money off the back of it. I'd want to find somebody who would utilize it without gouging people for the price. So I'd give away the cancer cure to somebody I think who was best suited to do something good with it. But I keep the gold bars and sell them. I'd find a way to make... I need the money. So that's what I do. What a wasted opportunity. That's what you say. Okay? But I'm not keeping the cure for cancer to myself. No. No. That's not for me to play with. I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't judge. Then don't. You're stuck alone inside of your house, and you're starving to death. You're completely run out of food, and no one is coming to save you for weeks. The only potential source of food around you is your family pets. What do you do? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Holy crap. That's a rough one. Attempting to cut meat from your pets and then treat their wounds is cruel, though, because you would just be causing them pain and mentally abusing them. And then they would just never be the same around you. They would always be freaked out around you. I think they would just view you as like a predator after a while. Like, you would think you're doing them a kindness by leaving them alive, but I think you would just be a tormentor at that point, a torturer. So as I would be heartbroken and sobbing my eyes out. I know it. I would absolutely be sobbing my eyes out, but I would kill my pets and eat them to survive. It would be my only choice. And I feel guilty for the rest of my life, like I said with one of the earlier questions, but that's what I'd have to do to stay alive. Why am I not surprised? Your neighbor's home is on fire. A blazing inferno among smoke emits from the windows. You hear screams for help coming from within, but you can't see past the flames. No one else is around in sight. What do you do? Call the fire department and keep my distance from the home. Start shouting for help and searching for someone nearby. Run into the burning home. Walk away. I'd call the fire department at the very least. I'm not gonna walk away. I'd call the fire department, but, like, I know from having a cop for a dad, like, sometimes you think the best thing you can do is run in and be the hero and save somebody, but if you don't know what you're doing, and you're not prepared and equipped, and you don't have what's on hand to survive that situation, you could just be putting more danger on everyone involved. So, the best, I think the smartest thing to do is call the fire department. I like that. You're fast asleep in your bed when you're awoken by what sounds like a woman's muffled cries from somewhere in your room. You quickly realize it's coming from under your bed. What do you do? I'm gonna verbally call out and ask who's in my room. Because I'm gonna assume I'm probably having an auditory hallucination, or it's coming from like a spot I can't hear. Like maybe it's coming from the walls of the neighbor's house. Maybe I'm imagining it. I need to be certain that, like, I was getting certain. I need to be certain I'm getting a response. So if I call out and then they make more noise, then I might get up to investigate. But I'd call out first. I'm not gonna blindly look under my bed for a potential muffled duct tape mouth body or something. A man in a fancy suit approaches you while you're walking down the street. He pulls a watch from his pocket and hands it to you. He claims that when the watch stops ticking, it marks the moment your time runs out on this earth. What do you do? Oh boy. Whew. Just tell them you got 3 of them as a toy in your Happy Meal. Decline the offer for the watch and keep walking. Oh boy. As much as I would want to know to try and avoid it, if there's no avoiding it, it's just my time is up. I decline the offer and keep walking. Because then I would become obsessed with that watch. I would just listen to it tick all the time. It would be some horrible Edgar Allan Poe poem. Would you now? You're sitting at home playing a game on your PC when all of a sudden someone grips and squeezes your shoulder firmly from behind. What do you do? Sometimes my instinct is to elbow somebody behind me, but I usually assume it's a friend or family member trying to get my attention and I don't want to hurt them. So I'd probably jump and turn around. If I'm not expecting it, I'm like frightened, I'd probably jump a little bit. I wouldn't jump up, but I would jump a little bit. I'd have like a little jump scare and then turn around to see who it is. You're sitting in the bathtub trying to relax when a hand emerges from the water. What do you do? Okay, I'm sitting in the bathtub trying to relax when a hand emerges from the water. Push it underwater and hope you get some free hand action. I'm not that kinky. Disembodied hand? No. Give it a handshake, maybe even a solid fist bump. I jump out of the bath. I would jump out of the bath. I mean, I'd probably kick it first to keep it away from me. But I would immediately get out of the water. I'm not staying in there. I don't know if I'd run out of the room, but I'd get the hell out of the... Yeah, clever. Yeah, clever? I think that's the smart thing to do. You get out of bed and immediately fall down into a deep, dark hole. A man is standing above you, looking down, telling you to put lotion on your skin while he watches. What do you do? Oh, good lord. You know, I might ask if he'll come down and apply it. I know that sounds weird, but if I can get him to come down, I might be able to, like, knock him out and then find a way to climb out. Like, I might be able to deal with him physically if I can convince him to come down. It'd be awkward and it'd be really uncomfortable, but I'd try to think on my feet, like, how am I going to get out of this? And my first instinct would be, like, how can I talk him into getting closer so I can knock him out and get out of the situation? Smart choice. See? He agrees. Fate knows what's up. You're sitting at home, alone, and all of a sudden your door slams shut. You see it before your very eyes, and you know that no one else is home, and it couldn't have been a gust of wind. What do you do? It couldn't have been a gust of wind, because I've had that happen because of wind. Couldn't have been a gust of wind. I would stay perfectly still and watch the door. I would observe. That'd be my first instinct. I like that. Someone you've known for many years but have no attraction to tells you that they've had a massive crush on you for a long time. What do you do? But I have no attraction to them? I have no attraction to them. I might ask them out on a date and see what happens, because maybe I end up attracted to their personality. Maybe I find out we have a lot in common. Maybe I found out that personality makes them more attractive, which has definitely happened to me before, where I meet somebody and I don't have any initial attraction to them, but then we get to talking and I'm like, oh, I really like you. I like the kind of person you are, and that makes me attracted to you. Yeah, I'd ask them on a date and see where it goes. I mean, the worst that happens is it doesn't go well, and it might make the friendship awkward, but I'd rather take the shot and see what happens than miss out on a potential. If I've made the mistake before, I had an ex that started because they told me that they liked me, and they were clearly attracted, and I was like, well, let's give it a shot at least. But I was young and a virgin and stupid, and I was like, well, maybe I like them, and that's not what was talking to me at that moment. But I think smarter prevailing now, I would just see where it goes. Ah, so you're one of those types. Don't judge me, Fate. Your dog starts randomly barking into the darkest corner of your living room. There doesn't appear to be anything there, but your dog insists on escalating to growls. What do you do? I try to calm down my dog by petting them, probably. I probably try to calm it down. Dogs do that all the time. I'm taking note of that. You see a massive spider in your room the size of your hand. What do you do? Oh, good lord. Burn the entire house down. Try to capture it alive for science. Well, I guess grab something bigger to smash it. That's my first instinct, unfortunately. As much as I know a lot of people who try to preserve it and send it outside, if it's the size of my hand, I'm gonna go try and find a big-ass textbook and just crush it. I don't want... Huh. Don't you ha me. Your closest family member tells you that they're a serial killer. What do you do? Oh boy. My closest family member tells me that. I'd try to convince them that they need help. I don't necessarily know if I would turn them in right away. But I would try to get them to a therapist. Try to get a psychologist, psychiatrist maybe. Try to do anything to get them to stop doing it. And if I couldn't, then eventually I'd turn them in. But I wouldn't just turn them in cold-bloodedly right away. I want to believe I would, like, to spare a bunch of other people the potential danger. But if it's my closest family member, which currently is my mother, I could never do that to her. I couldn't. I'd try to get her help. That's the best thing I could do. I see. If you found out that you only had one day left to live, what do you do? Boy. So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to be happy. I'd be really miserable about it. Do something insane and crazy. Anything goes. Probably. If I know I only have one day to live, I'll just do all the things that I was too afraid to do before. Alright then. If one of your pets started speaking to you and told you that they've got a dire warning that they were going to die, if you didn't let them eat all the ice cream in the freezer, what would you do? Give them the ice cream! Just give them the ice cream. If my pet starts talking and it's only going to live if I give it ice cream, I don't care if it's trying to trick me. Oh, lovely. Plus, I'm not super into ice cream and I can always buy more. If all of a sudden you could start hearing other people's thoughts and the person next to you was thinking about mugging you and stealing your money, what would you do? Tell them you don't think mugging you is a good idea. It would freak them out. I think that'd be the best deterrent. It might push them into doing something, but I think it would get them off balance, which is always an advantage. I just tell them. That sounds reasonable. See? Fate thinks so too. Your best friend comes to you and tells you that they just accidentally killed someone, and they don't want to go to prison. What do you do? Oh boy. I would either try to convince them to turn themselves in, because if it's an accident and they turn themselves in, the chances are they can plead, not guilty because it was an accident, it was unintended. If it was absolutely accidental and it wasn't because of negligence and all that, I try to convince them to turn themselves in. Oh boy. I don't know if I would help them hide the body, because that always comes back to haunt you, and it just makes it worse. And nowadays, I don't think there's any forensics team that wouldn't. Yeah, I try to convince them to. I'd just try. I would just try. I think it's the right thing to do, and I think I could help them, hopefully, as a character witness and all that. You're driving in your car and you accidentally run someone over. You're pretty sure that they're okay, but the fact that their head is clearly detached from their body suggests that it's probably just wishful thinking. What do you do? If it was accidental? Oh boy. Oh boy. Either turn myself into the authorities or call my best friend and tell them that you don't want to go to prison. My best friend happens to be a lawyer, so he probably would be the first person I call, because then I could call the authorities as well, right after. Yeah, I'd call my best friend, and then we'd probably go to the authorities together, or I'd call them, yeah. Alright, don't stop doing that. Interesting how that played out. I think it's time we move on to the next portion of our test. It's not that I'm trying to get, hide the body. It's not a hypocrite. I would want them to be with me, to be my lawyer for that situation. The following questions that shall be asked of you are would you rather style questions. This is going to be a long one, folks. Imagine you've got a gun to your head, and you absolutely must choose an answer, no matter how uncomfortable that may be. Let's get started, shall we? Would you rather be loved by all or feared by all? Loved by all, without question. Loved by all. Would you rather never get angry or never get jealous? I'd rather never get jealous, because being jealous is a horrible feeling. It makes you feel worse. And while jealousy can spur you to, I just think there's more consequences to never getting angry than never getting jealous. And there's more consequences to being jealous than being angry. Angry can, I know how that sounds, but jealousy can lead to doing things in fits of anger. It's not a healthy feeling. So I would rather never get jealous. Especially because a lot of jealousy can be completely unwarranted, just like anger, but a lot of jealousy can be all made up in your mind. Would you rather be held in high regard by your parents or by your friends? I could deal with parental disappointment. It'd be harder if all my friends were disappointed in me or didn't hold me in high regard. So probably my friends. Because you choose your friends. Would you rather live in space or live under the sea? In space. Even though both are terrifying voids, at least space has the possibility of new planets and stuff and all sorts of... I don't want to... No. In space. Would you rather donate your body to science or donate your organs to people who need them? To people who need them. I think to people who need them. Would you rather go to jail for 5 years for something you didn't do? Or mainly because if you donate to science, sometimes they just use them as corpses in classes when they teach you how to do autopsies and stuff, and that's not as... I don't think this is beneficial. Would you rather go to jail for 5 years for something you didn't do, or get away with something horrible you did, but always live in fear of being caught? I'd rather get away with something horrible and live in fear. It would be miserable. It'd be a prison of my own mind. But jail sounds awful. And especially now, it's just a unfortunate petri dish because nobody's being taken care of in those places. So I'd rather live in fear. Would you rather work at a horrible job that you hate, but retire comfortably in 10 years from now? Or would you rather have your dream job but have to work until the day you die? If it's acting work, I'd rather have my dream job forever. Absolutely. Mind-numbing jobs they just crush my soul. Would you rather every shirt you'll ever wear to be somewhat itchy, or only be able to use one-ply toilet paper? Ooh. I'd rather have the itchy shirt problem, because then I just walk around with no shirt, and people would be like, why do you do that all the time? I'd be like, because all my shirts itch. Actually, you know what? One-ply toilet paper is not so bad. It's uncomfortable. But I could live with it. I could live with the one-ply toilet paper. It would suck, but I could live with it. Would you rather have skin that changes colors? I just wad it up in bunches and stuff. Would you rather have skin that changes colors depending on your mood, or have tattoos appear on your body that depict what you did yesterday? Oh boy. That's a lot of masturbation tattoos. Oh boy, why'd I say that? Color changing skin. Now that y'all know what I do every day apparently. Oh boy, would you rather shit every time you orgasm or orgasm every time you see a dog? Wow! Oh boy, nobody's ever gonna have sex with me a second time if I shit every time I orgasm. So I just orgasm every time I see a dog and just have to clean my underwear a lot. That's That's gonna have to be it. Oh my god, that's a terrible one. If your partner switched bodies with one of your parents, and the only way to get them to switch back was to have sex with one of them, would you rather have sex with your partner in your parent's body, or have sex with your parent in your partner's body? Oh no! Oh god. Oh, that's awful. What the fuck is wrong with you? No, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? Thank God the answers, like, they did. No, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just answer this. You're really gonna make me answer this? Oh, boy. Oh. Because here's the problem. Here's the difference. If you have sex with your partner in your parent's body, your partner's always gonna know that you had sex in your parent's body. They might be able to live with that. But you wouldn't be able to. You'd have to think about you had sex with your parent. Which is gross. Unless you're lucky enough to have some hot porn star parent that just like every person would want. That even though you still find it gross because they're your parent, your mind can at least rationalize this person is like way more attractive than they should be for their age. And given that this is, I'm trying to detach myself emotionally from this, I can do it. Unless you're that level of fortunate, or you can somehow divorce yourself from it, you're gonna be crippled mentally for life by this. But your parent will never know about it, or maybe they won't find out, whatever the case is. And you won't have to live in the same world as them with that information. But if you have sex with your parent in your partner's body, they will forever have that knowledge. You will forever know that. It'll freak you out, and even though the body won't freak you out, you'll have to. It's a miserable situation. Oh God. Every time I see my parent, I would have to think about what they look like. Oh no. Oh God. You know what, future me? I'm not gonna be happy with either answer to this question. So just black it out while I pick this one. Nobody needs to know the answer to this one. Sorry, fellas. Sorry, ladies. Everybody out there watching. Sorry, everybody in between on the spectrum. I feel generally and genuinely uncomfortable allowing this answer to be anywhere out in the ether. So I'm going to just go pick one, and you're going to have to live with the fact that you don't know which one it is. Oh, that was brutal. That one had no bearing on your results. I was just curious. Oh, fuck you, fate. Fuck you so much. I think we've answered enough of these types of questions, as I'm sure you'd agree. And that's the last question? You're going to real mess with me like that? Oh my god. We're going to end the test with a short series of final questions, giving simple answers. We'll get started now. Man, this one is way longer than the first one. Out of the following options, which number do you like the most? 13 is my favorite number. Out of these numbers, I like 7 the most. Out of the following options, which color makes you feel the most relaxed? Relaxed. My favorite color is green, but what makes me feel the most relaxed? Probably blue. Blue makes me feel relaxed. Out of the following options, which creature are you the least comfortable around? I'd feel the least comfortable around scorpions. See, I don't know enough about them, and not all snakes are poisonous, but all scorpions, to my knowledge, are poisonous, so probably scorpions. Out of the following options, which flavor is your favorite? Ooh, chocolate or peanut butter? Generally speaking, chocolate. But I love peanut butter. I'm gonna say peanut butter, actually. I think peanut butter. If I had to choose only one, peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Out of the following options, which do you personally value the most? Family, friends, money, or freedom? Oh boy. I could think of 2 bodies of people that are going to be real angry with the answers to these questions. No matter what. I probably value my friends the most. Because they are, generally speaking, people I can be, not all of them, but like my best friend and people like close to me are the people I can confide everything in without feeling judged or worried about, because they don't look at you as a parent or as a sibling or whatever the case is. So probably friends. Probably friends. Sorry, family. You're still up there. You're very high up there. It's just, Out of the following options, which could you most live without? What could I most live without? The freedom to do what I want is important. I would love money so that I can actually do more with my freedom. But if I have no freedom and I have all the money in the world, it's pointless. Because the money is, I want the money so I can enjoy more of my freedom. So probably money. That's the one thing that I could absolutely live without. If I had no other choice like that, that's to be the one thing. Out of the following options, which statement is the most accurate? I am brave, I am caring, I am smart, I am attractive. See, the caring or smart. I think I'm attractive, but I don't think it's like... I don't think it's the most accurate statement, because I think it's very subjective. There are going to be people who don't find me attractive. I'm fully aware of that. I think of myself as relatively brave, but I'm not running into fires every day. I am caring, but I'm getting older, and that's waning. I'd say I'm smart, generally speaking. I think that's the most accurate statement. Out of the following options, which are you most afraid of? Living forever? No. I would love to. Losing my loved ones, dying alone, dying immediately after this test is finished. Oh boy. Everything left undone, dying immediately after this test is finished. That would be way worse. We're almost finished, but I've just got one final question for you. Have you ever punched a nun? This again? No, I haven't. You really ought to try it sometime. It could really take the edge off. Alright, we're done here. I'm through with you. I'm just going to calculate your results very carefully. I don't want to miss anything important. Trying my absolute hardest not to judge you right now. Trying to keep this as professional as possible. Ah, here we go. Based on what you've told me, I've come to a conclusion. This is what I personally believe would be in your best interest to acknowledge, set in motion, and accomplish in order to climb the ladder to happiness in your life. First and foremost, I'd like to start with a blanket statement that everyone truly needs to hear. Something that is taken for granted far more than anything else in life. Something that has such an incredible, unique, irreplaceable value compared to any other thing on this earth. And that, my friends, is the value of time. Time is the most valuable form of currency you will ever hold in life. You can spend time on anyone, doing anything for any reason. Now, time can be spent, time can be wasted, and time can be taken away. But time can never be refunded, time can never be earned back, and more time can never be gained. Imagine a bank account with all the money you'll ever get to spend in life. Now, imagine not knowing how much money is in your account. Imagine going to the store one day to purchase something you really need and the cashier tells you, "I'm sorry, but you cannot afford that." As a matter of fact, you can never afford anything ever again. We only have so much time, and we have no idea just how much or how little we truly have before our bank account runs dry. And the fact that we get to decide and choose what we spend our time on just shows you how truly special it is when someone spends their time on you. So now that we understand that incredible value of time, I'd like to make a suggestion for you personally on how I think you'd best be spending your time in order to achieve what you need most at this current stage in your life. Let's see here. Alright, listen. You really need to spend more time focusing on doing things for yourself. You've got to start taking into account that you cannot pour from an empty cup. And if people keep wanting your energy, you need to take time to yourself to replenish it. The reason I stumbled there, I literally had the person I was telling you about tell me that, like, you can't pour out of an empty cup. Literally the analogy they used. This is starting to get freaky. I literally had this conversation not a week ago at this point. Not but a little over a week ago, and that is exactly what they said to me. You can't pour from an empty cup. Whew. I'm a little freaked out by how accurate this game is. You've got such a big heart and such a bright soul, and because of this, people would benefit greatly from getting to know you or having more of you. But you need to take twice as much time making yourself happy as you do attempting to make other people happy. Otherwise, you're going to let people make you miserable. It is not your responsibility to save the world, but it doesn't mean that you can't save one person at a time. But you need to start by saving yourself, because you're no good to anyone else completely drained of all that makes you you. My advice to you is that you spend a lot more of your time focusing on things that make you feel relaxed, make you feel happy, and less time saying yes to people that demand too much of your energy. It's okay to be selfish. Because at the end of the day, if you aren't going to take care of you, then who is? I think you'll be very surprised by just how much of a positive impact this can have on your life going forward. I hope this information helps you achieve your goals. Your secret word is self-care. Remember this word. This will come in handy. Excuse me. Got me at the end there. It is literally all the advice I was given very recently, and I hit close to home. Whew. This is all the messages you've seen from the past 2 games. Sorry, I got real quiet there, but I'm collecting myself. Literally, the end of this game combined with the end of the first game that I played, not the very first, not Confession, but the end of the test, is basically this open letter that this person wrote me, because they were worried about me, because they thought I was running myself ragged, basically, and pouring from an empty cup, that I wasn't going to have anything left if I kept it up. So, I'm going to keep this end bit, even though I'm more uncomfortable with the emotional stuff being out there than the silly stuff and the foolish stuff. Because I think it's important to people to understand this game, this social experiment, whatever it is, this series is doing, is worth giving a look at, because I think it's actually very insightful and very artfully crafted to giving you a look into who you are as a person, and what combined. The first one has a really good idea of, like, this is who you are and this is what might help you understand yourself better, and this one is more of like, this is what you need. And I'm very pleasantly surprised. Yeah, let's see everybody who contributed. I'm pleasantly surprised by how helpful and sincere this game's advice has been, based on the questions that it gives you. And it seems like silly questions, some of them, and it seems like it's just throwing you random questions just to mess with you, and it seems like it's trying to psych you out as a horror game and all that stuff. But in actuality, it does really seem to be testing what your psyche is, how those moments change your answers to the questions that follow them, and all that. It seems very much deliberately crafted. And now that I'm getting advice from total strangers who have crafted a game that is exactly the same advice that someone who is very, very close to me gave me, because they were concerned about me, that to me speaks volumes as to the amount of care and craft that went into this game to make you think about yourself and to try and give the people playing it a chance at a better life and a better future by examining themselves. So I encourage you, if you're looking for these games, they're on Steam. You can find the whole collection. Hopefully it's still on sale as a bundle. It's pretty damn cheap, and it's worth a play. It's worth the insight into yourself, because I've been pleasantly surprised by just how deep these games are. And like, I had to hold back for the sake of not becoming a blubbering idiot, almost, because it was literally, it felt like I was rereading the letter from that person. That person who I had a very tumultuous relationship over the years, and we finally sort of patched that up in a way, all out of their concern for me, that was basically echoed in the end of this game, which was, please, for... It's coming back again. Excuse me. For the sake of not watching someone who I thought I'd live in their shadow because they shined so bright when we were younger, I don't want to watch that person dwindle and become a shadow of their former self. Sorry, guys. Oh boy. I think it's worth the introspection, is what I'm trying to say. Because, it's one thing when somebody you know says something to you and you sort of assume that's colored by their experiences of you and what they know, and sometimes you can dismiss that because you think that's just how you see me, or you see me that way because of your perspective of me. To have that person say something, somebody who knows you that well, and then to have complete strangers who programmed a game, who couldn't possibly be in the room with you, say these same exact things, almost word for word, to say the same things, is it's a real wake-up call. And I know that's a trite saying, I know that's something people hear all the time, but it genuinely is a wake-up call, because it makes you realize that even a stranger, if they ask the right questions, which I think is the point of a game like this in a way, even a stranger, if they ask the right questions, can see through you, can figure out the kind of person you are, and the kind of person you can be, and the kind of person that you need to be for your own health and your own well-being. And that's a realization I think a lot of people need right now. I think a lot of people's first response, I say a lot as a joke in other videos and stuff, like, you don't know me, son. I play that up as a joke. But a lot of people have that feeling of like, you can't possibly know me, you don't know anything about me. But the truth is, if you ask the right questions, not just of yourself, but of other people, you can know them. You can know them. There's people out there in your life that if you wanted to know them better, just ask them the right questions. And you start to get to feel for who they are as a person. And then maybe you can help them. Maybe you can give them the insight they need to live a better life, to be a better person. But you'll never do that if you don't ask. And if you don't reach out to people who might need you, they may never know that the right questions needed to be asked, or that the right answers were right there in front of them and they just never ask the questions of themselves. So, for the sake of yourself, of your relationships, of the people in your life that you care about, I encourage you to take a look at this game. Sincerely, not just as a promote this game, I think it's great, you'll have fun playing it, like, as a genuine thing that I think everybody's life would be better off if they gave it a shot and listen to what it had to say at the end, and take it seriously. Please, take it seriously. The confession, you can be silly as you want. That's made to be silly. But the test, and the test hypothesis rising, take them seriously. Answer them as honestly as you can, like the test says. Because that's when you're going to get the really... Like, I'm astonished by the fact that complete strangers and my very close friend, family member, I'll just leave it vague because I don't want to say who they are. This person who is close in my life, for their sake, not for mine, could say such similar things. And not, like, one game is one thing, but, like, both games, to have excerpts from this long letter that they put towards me, that's why it caught me so off guard and hit me so hard the second time around and got me so emotional, because it was literally the plea that they had with me. So it's just like, it's mind-boggling that they could craft such a series of questions to provide such a potentially insightful answer to an individual. I think it's remarkable. I think it's quite remarkable. And who knows? Maybe you'll play it and you'll get the same answer or something, and you'll say, hey, maybe they only have 3 answers, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I think they took a great deal of time to provide as many possible specific forms of advice for different people and different personality types as they possibly could. I think, judging by the comments I've seen on some of these games, I scrolled down for pages with those secret words, and I can't recall seeing the same secret word twice. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? They give you a secret word at the end of the game to put in the comments for the ending that you got. and I could scroll through pages, and I can't recall seeing two of the same answer. That's how much specificity and care was put into the variety of answers you could potentially give, and the combination of those answers into gauging the kind of person you are. That's why I keep promoting that you should play this game. It's not just some personality test with 6 answers. They say it's not a personality test in the first game. It's not going to be this thing where you're going to get one of a very small handful of answers that are very vague in general and could apply to anybody, and a bunch of other people are going to get that. You're going to get, if you take it seriously, a very tailored and specified answer that's targeted at you based on what you've answered. I don't know what else to say. I can't promote this enough because I've never played anything like it. I've never taken a questionnaire with answers that were that specific to anything like it. It's like, sorry if you believe in this kind of stuff, but it's not a horoscope. It's not a horoscope where it just applies to everybody who's under a certain birth sign, and somehow it's supposed to apply to you on every day, depending on what... No. This seems to be made with the intention of trying to give you the most tailored and specific advice possible. And I think it achieves that. I think it succeeded. So the only way I can express how deeply I think it succeeded is to try and encourage you to give it a shot. It's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think it's very much worth it. Thank you guys for joining me as usual, for coming back and watching yet another episode of this series of one-offs I've been doing. I'm going to eventually do a longer series. I still haven't decided what game I want to play for a long series. I'll take suggestions, put them in the comments, you know what to do. If I get more Patreons, I'll throw up the Patreon page at some point so you can see that image. Oh, that would be a perfect place to put it where it was the black screen just now. I'll throw up the Patreon page real quick so you can, and it'll be in the description, so you can go ahead and go to it if you want. The more contributors I get to that, obviously we could put polls up on the site, but for now, drop comments. Get more activity on these videos. I think they're worth seeing, and I want other people to get, you know, a chance to see what these games are capable of. But until then, be good to each other, be good to yourselves. I think that's an important one to emphasize after this particular episode. And go out, be a light in the world, but also provide a little light for yourself. Self-care is the word of the day, as we saw. And take care of your health, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever that means to you. And I will see you right back here sometime next week for another video. Until next time.